either pregnant, intending to be pregnant, or who are caring or catering for people who are going through some level of pregnancy has to watch out for, So welcome once again, Dr. Noble.
Thank you for having me.
Let's get close to the mic. What is the World Fistula Day? Why is it being celebrated on the 23rd of May every year?
Okay, thank you and good evening, dear listener. Today, about 500 women. As of today, about 290 women all over the world die during the childbirth. 290,000 women
I was wondering.
and girls
all over the world.
Yes, die annually as a result of complication from pregnancy, during delivery, or within 42 days
after delivery.
Yes, either as a result of pregnancy or as a result of other issues that are complicated. Now, it has become an issue of public health importance because of this number. If about 290,000 women die every year, and nothing drastic is done, you imagine that in the next few years that we may not have women again. So it's a matter of public health importance, and the international community has taken drastic steps to addressing it. Now, in addressing it, in Africa, we notice that obstructed labor is one of the causes of maternal mortality.
Obstructed labor.
Okay. Prolonged obstructed labor. What that means is that a woman, ideally, starting from the process of labor, there is what they call the passage. That is the woman pelvis, the pelvis part of the woman, the passage, as well as the passenger, which is the baby. Now, the passage is supposed to be capacious enough to allow the passenger to pass through. Sometimes there could be mixed fits. So, as a result, the baby, which is the passenger now, won't be able to pass through the pelvis. Yes, so it results to, first of all, pelvic disproportion. And
speak English, please.
Okay, it results to there's a disproportion, a mixed fit between the baby's head and the maternal pelvis, that's the mother's pelvis. So what that means is that the baby may not be able to pass through the vagina at all, except we do cesarean section for delivery, through abdominal route. So whenever that process is prolonged, the labor is prolonged for more than 24 hours, women do come down with this fistula. Fistula simply means a hole in the vagina, an abnormal hole in the vagina.
Hole?
Yes, a hole in the vagina.
Wow, okay.
Connecting the vagina as well as the bladder, or the vagina and the anus, or rectum. So when that arises, women who come down with this problem, sometimes they could have urine incontinence. What that means that
they can hold?
Because they cannot hold urine. So there is constant dripping of urine. Also, there could also be fecal, that's in the feces, could also be coming to the vagina. Don't forgetting that the private part of a woman has three cavities, unlike the male that has two cavities. This is the anus, the vagina, as well as the urinary tract where the urine comes out through. So for the case of women, when that develops, instead the urine will pass into the vagina, or the feces will pass into the vagina, and it causes a lot of problem for them. So most time they are isolated because of that. Sometimes they'll be smelling, and it will affect their sexual and reproductive ability. Sometimes most of them don't see their menses again. Sometimes it results to divorce, discrimination, and stigma, as well as social deprivation, depression too. And when the quality of life is affected, they are not happy. You can imagine it becomes a mental problem. And we're talking about mental week.
Right.
So those are some of the issues. So it's an issue that the international community is taking seriously. So 20 years ago, the United Nations started the campaign for eradication or eradication of fistula. Then after 10 years ago, the International Day for the Elimination of Fistula celebration now started, or they now started marking. So the past 10 years, each year, 23rd of every May is earmarked by the United Nations.
Let me pause you now. I want to ask a question. How many women in Nigeria suffer from the picture you've just painted for us? And it's a very gory picture, by the way. But how many women in Nigeria suffer from this?
As of today, about 100 to 150 Nigerian women.
1,000 or just 150?
150,000.
Okay.
As of today, 100,000 to 150,000 Nigerian women are suffering from fistula.
Okay.
And of these, yearly there are about 12,000 also come down with the fistula. So that is the picture we have in the country at the moment. So
in your daily activities at UPTH, you come across women who are going through this very tough time.
Funny enough, it is being said that it is underreported because of the social stigma associated with it. Most people don't come, they don't present for medical treatments.
Okay.
Because they suffer from isolation, deprivation. Most time, or once in a while, we see them. And the problem is that the antenatal care, if you look at the courses, not everybody have access to ski bed attendants or quality health care or antenatal care. So most time they don't present.
Sometimes they don't even know they have it.
They do.
Okay.
They do. Some will not know because it's also common among those who are less, poverty, the issue of poverty, and they're also not educated. So some of them may not know, and it could also happen in the interlands where access to antenatal care is not. It's nothing to write home about.
So, what is being done, to tackle this? Because once again, this is not such a nice picture that is being painted. Before we even go to what is being done, what are really the impacts? So when someone has fistula and releasing feces through the vagina and all of that, how does it impact the body? Does it lead to death? Can you run us through the possible consequences of having fistula?
Okay, as it is, as at that moment, it is not a life-threatening condition. It's not a life-threatening condition. However, the obstructed labor is a life-threatening condition.
Okay.
Some of them survive the obstructed labor, but they come down with these comorbidities. It is being said that
what's called comorbidities?
This fistula. Sorry.
Okay.
Most of them who
you're not in class, so please help us understand this.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Most women who come down with prolonged obstructed labor. With manipulation, some of them actually delivers, but come down with complication. In fact, it is said that for every woman, every maternal mortality, about 20 to 30 women out there suffer from different form of childbirth injuries, which obstructed fistula, obstructed fistula is one of them. So it affects their quality of life. First, most of them may not be seeing their menses.
And when you say they don't see, how does that impact the woman's body?
The beauty of a woman is that every month she sees her menses. It gives them that sense of a womanhood. It makes them feel like a woman. So normally, a woman who doesn't see her menses 2-3 months, they usually report to the hospital within the reproductive age, between 15 years to 49, as the case may be.
I'm trying to understand what the health implications are.
Of course, when a woman does not see her menses, it means that her ability to deliver, to be pregnant, is compromised. That also leads to infertility.
Oh, wow.
That also means that she may not be able, because of the feces or the urine that constantly drip through the vagina. Sexual intercourse is affected. So, and sexuality is it's a right of every woman of reproductive age.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, we have sexual rights and sexual right and health. So it's very important.
Mm.
So they may not be able to have sexual intercourse. Their partners, in most time, leave them and go somewhere else. So the psychological trauma that comes with it is enormous.
Mm.
And for a woman who does not feel good, presenting herself in the public would not be good for her too, because normally people will feel, people won't be comfortable with her presence. It also affects her economical viability. It means that if a woman is supposed to be coming to the office to work, to earn a living, and take care of her family, that is already compromised.
Okay, now, what causes this fistula?
When usually because of the misfits between the baby and the mother's pelvis. The mother's pelvis is narrow while the baby is bigger. So there is a pressure on the maternal pelvis. That constant pressure on the maternal pelvis causes reduced blood flow to that part of the...
Sorry, so you're saying it's only when someone is pregnant that they can come, or...
But aside that, when a woman operates upon cesarean section, cesarean section, though it's a safe procedure, it does complication.
Right.
So some bladder could be injured. Sometimes the ureter there could also be other valves. Sometimes we use force, but it's not pushing. There's not enough force to push down, and maybe it's a compromise. Not looking at the baby with some manipulation, tension, which we call it so even a function also is very rare. 5% of the artifice as a prolonged obstruction, which is also has to do with labor that is not well supervised. For instance, a kid, somebody who has trained a medical doctor, they'll be able to know from the antenatal period than even within during the labor to know that this woman won't be able to deliver vaginally. So intervention would be instituted, which we have to do with doing a cesarean section. So those are some of the issues that confronts or fistula among others.
Now, as of the resident doctors, association residents in Nigeria, what is being done? Because now you've said, people don't go skill care during the leave or during the process of pregnancy, and they want to go for the local means or local ways. But like you mentioned earlier, there are no health facilities that are good enough for people in the hinterlands, for the people in the communities, and for people who can travel, for instance, to Port Harcourt or to other places where there is a tertiary health institution. The question then is, what is the association doing to ensure that the pregnant women in communities in Auda West, Auda East, in Eche, in Okrika are being well taken care of?
Well, on our own part as resident doctors in training, our goal is first to promote health indices in Nigeria, and also cater for the welfare of our members. So it is in the light of the first objective that we are here. Having noticed that it is a public health issue, deem it fit to add our voice to this commemoration of this day. Being in the studio today to enlighten people on this health challenge, and also to tell them, others to also help pass the information down to their communities, which could be their families, churches, market association, youth, wherever they are. So it's a chain reaction. So I want us to raise awareness and also call on other stakeholders, which has to do with the government and also spirited individuals and NGOs to look at how this matter could be addressed.
All right, we'll go for a quick commercial. When we come back, I'll ask you one or two more questions, and then we'll open the phone lines to hear what the listeners have got to say. Just stay tuned. Still talking World Fistula Day, and we're looking at this very health issue affecting lots of women in society. And we've been told that between 100,000 to 180,000 women are being affected by fistula here in Nigeria. I believe I'm correct, Dr. Noble. And I've got Dr. Noble with me in the studio. He is the Association of Resident Doctors President, University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital. Now, I do have a message, and this one says brutal rape of a minor and early marriage are also causes. Do you agree with that message? Yeah?
Yes, early marriage and teenage pregnancy.
Because of teenage pregnancy?
Pregnancy is on its own, early marriage is on its own, but there's also a relationship.
So can you explain how early marriage, causes fistula?
Someone in our culture, normally, when somebody is married, the societal expectation is that person should get pregnant soon. So early marriage leads to early pregnancy.
Okay.
Then you must not be married. Someone must not be married for the person to be pregnant. So adolescent pregnancy.
Okay. All right.
Definitely, if a lady a girl that's less than 20 years gets pregnant while in school, definitely she want to. All things being equal, except she wants to go and procure abortion or probably.
But that's illegal, right?
I said probably.
Okay.
If he wants to go out, if she wants to
no,
go
but we wouldn't preach that because it's illegal. But now let's look at prevention. How do we prevent? Because, like you said, it's something that if we're allowed to fester in maybe 10 years, in your own estimation, you said so, we're going to have women in the world anymore. So, how do we prevent this?
Well, that's good. First, there should be we prevent early marriage.
Okay.
Then we also try to prevent unwanted or unintended pregnancy amongst adolescents.
Okay.
Yes. Then there's also the need for adequate nutrition, because for those looking at one of the causes of the fistula formation is that a girl who did not have her pelvis properly formed, the bony structure not well formed because of malnutrition or diseases while still childhood, that will affect her pelvis. The pelvis is structure called symmetry. So for those who have some bony issue, of course, that will not be able to allow the baby to pass. So nutrition, childhood nutrition is very important to allow proper growth of the female's pelvic bones.
Okay.
So
okay.
That is that one. Then the issue of child education is also important. Child education, allowing a woman, a girl child attend school, automatically you are giving her the opportunity to be enlightened, for her to know her left and her rights. There's also the place for women empowerment too. It's not just going to school, but women should be empowered to take care of themselves, to know when to seek an intervention. Then moving forward, there's need for early antenatal registration, and to also ensure that pregnancy is being attended to during, and also follow up. Most time we see situation where women who presented to the hospital for antenatal care during delivery, because of our cultural beliefs, the influence of religion, tradition, personal belief, they don't come to the hospital. I've seen cases, somebody that came for antenatal care just because she's been told that she may be going for cesarean section based on her peculiar condition. She opted to go somewhere, and funny enough, she came down with fistula. In fact, her uterus was also removed.
Terrible.
Because she had ruptured uterus, got tall. We call it ruptured uterus. So bad that we couldn't repair it.
No, Dr. Noble. So, now, sorry, I'm cutting you short. You finished the picture, and do you take this message, the message you've brought here now, do you really take it to the communities, to the people who are most affected?
Well, for us, we are working in the Federal Care Center, I know that for the state government, they have primary health care centers distributed all around the states, and they have health worker there. So, and we have midwives. I've taken our time to visit some primary care center, but unfortunately, sometimes, well, like I said, based on our culture and
religion,
religion, and we've seen situations whereby people go to churches, some churches. Well, we've seen situations also where churches encourage their antenatal women to go to hospital. So it's vice versa.
All right.
It's vice versa.
Okay. Now, there's this message that says, I suggest to your guests that the issue of fistula, its causes and consequences be made part of antenatal care lessons. Also, government, especially at state and federal levels, should make mass enlightenment on this issue. This is the more reason why women's education and childbirth at medical centers should be made compulsory by legislation. Underage pregnancy should also be preached against by both religious and traditional institutions. There are ways to solve this problem if only we have the right leadership. It is pathetic as I hear the doctor talk on this matter. Please let the media also put continuous spotlight on this matter. Thanks. And that's from DK Port Harcourt. So, he just talked about it being part of the antenatal care lesson. What do you say about that? Is it part of it already?
That is true. That's the antenatal care is a package of services that are offered to women when pregnant.
Okay.
So when they come, one of the things we do is health education. We explain to them what they intend to, what they should expect in course of their pregnancy, and what they should also do on their own part. So that is why we insist on antenatal care. They should go for antenatal care, and those who have what it takes. But we've seen situations where people who are not qualified, who have not been trained, who don't have the requisite skill and knowledge, in quote, do offer antenatal care.
Okay, so what other preventive measures do we have out there? You've mentioned child education. You've mentioned proper feeding for the child.
Yes.
You mentioned a couple of. So what other?
Another thing is uses of modern contraception.
Okay.
What means that contraception has to do with prevention of pregnancy, particularly for the adolescents.
Okay.
Yes, in order to prevent adolescent pregnancy. So we encourage that it's better when the young girl is taught on contraception use.
Is that being done? I mean, you're in the healthcare. Is that being done? What young teenage girls are being given sex education?
I'm aware of that is being done. I've also done. I have an NGO that go to secondary school.
Okay, so you know it's been done.
In course of my interaction with them, I happen to know that some of them have the knowledge of that.
Okay.
Of pregnancy.
Okay.
So apart from that, too, the government has a significant role to play. One of the issues we have inequitable distribution of our access to it. You're like somebody in Andoni, somebody in Iche, somebody in Ogoni, somebody in Degema, riverine communities, and there is problem with access to roads. What do we do? Now, there are also what are called delays in attending, going to the hospital. First, the decision to go to the hospital, some people don't accept that acceptance that I have a health challenge, that I must seek medical care, is not there.
Could it be because of the cost? I mean, how expensive is the treatment for fistula?
It costs some hundreds of thousands.
Okay.
Therefore, another thing to as part of prevention.
That's like a bag of rice,
Hundreds of thousands.
Okay, 2 bags of rice.
Hundreds of thousands.
Okay, so that means I'm trying to point to you that an average person cannot afford it.
There's a center in Abakaliki. We offer it here in our center. There's a center in Abakaliki where a more extensive work is done.
Okay.
So, but it's capital intensive.
Capital intensive, you say. So, let's get to the treatment now. Now that we know it's capital intensive, how can someone treat fistula?
Basically, it depends on the size of the fistula, the location, and the type. For minor fistulas or minor ones, some of them heal on their own.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So,
Okay.
but it's important that it's done under medical supervision. But what we'll do is that we pass what I call a catheter into the bladder, so that as to allow the woman will not be straining her urinary system. So she won't have to stand up to go, I want to go and ease myself. She just stay on her own. Anytime she wants to feel like the urine just goes into the bag. There's a bag that is attached to her. So that process helps in the healing for minor fistula, less than 2 centimeters. But those who are extensive, basically surgeries are done, and usually after 3 to 4 months, surgeries are performed. But unfortunately, some people will have this condition for like 1 year, 2 years, because, like I said, one of the problems is isolation, stigma, and discrimination, and they don't know how to solve their problem, or the people they take their problem to don't have how their problems will be solved. So basically, surgery is done for either you do we got conservative management for those who are minor, or surgical management for those who have a larger size of the fistula.
All right. So we're out of time. So you want to give us your final take on the very issue we're talking? What would like a summary or something?
Okay. Importantly, obstructive fistula is a preventable condition.
Obstructive fistula, you said.
Obstetric fistula.
Obstetric
fistula.
Okay.
It's just that there are other fistulas that can occur even when a woman is not pregnant.
Okay.
But we are talking about the fistula, those holes in the reproductive system that occur as a result of pregnancy. It's called obstetric fistula.
All right.
Yeah. So it is a preventable condition. So it is important that primary healthcare is made accessible. Good road network. Women are empowered, and also the cost for antenatal care could also be reduced.
All right.
Antenatal care services is paramount. It's
All
a
right.
key to preventing obstetric fistula among women of reproductive age.
All right, thank you very much. I've got to go, but thank you very much, Dr. Noble, for your time and for educating Rivers people on fistula and the World Fistula Day.
Thank you for having me.
All right,
It's
then.
been a pleasure.
Just stay tuned when we'll come back. Open season will back it upon us, and we'll talk some more. Look at possible front pages for tomorrow and other matters. Do stay tuned.
Nigeria Info. Nigeria.